Okay, these are notes on multiplying exponents and polynomials. Alright, first off we have to distinguish what is a polynomial. A polynomial is an expression that's a collection of terms. Alright, we've had this definition before. A term. What is a term? A term is like 2x, or x, or 5, or 6x squared. Okay, or negative 6x squared. Okay, but an expression is a collection of terms, 6x minus 3, or negative 2x squared plus x plus 1. Okay, alright, and it has, this one has 3 terms, this one has 2 terms. Okay, alright, and we call polynomials by different names. Monomial means one term. So like 4x is a monomial. Alright, binomial, 2 terms. So like 2x minus 3. And trinomial, obviously, is 3 terms. So 4x squared minus 2x plus 3, for example. Alright, 3 terms. Alright. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be multiplying x, and we have to remember how to multiply x. So if we're doing x times x, remember that's x squared, okay? Because we're multiplying x twice. If we're multiplying x 3 times, x times x times x, that's x to the third, okay? And then b times b is b squared. Alright, and then when we multiply terms like 2x and x, we multiply the numbers in front, so 2 times 1, and then we multiply the variables, x times x, which is 2x squared. Alright, so here we would do 4 times 3, which is 12, and then x times x, which is x squared. Alright, and that's a brief review of multiplying variables. Alright, now with polynomials, alright, we have multiple terms, and when we multiply polynomials, there's a couple different methods. The first method we learned about, and it goes with our first example here, is the distributive property. Okay, so if we have 2 times x plus 4, we take that 2 and we distribute it to x and 4. And we do that by saying 2 times x, and then we add it to 2 times 4. 2x plus 8. Alright, now if we're taking a variable, x, and distributing it, we get x times x, and then we get x times negative 8. Well, x times x we know is x squared, and x times negative 8 is negative 8x. Same thing here, 4x times x minus 2, so we do 4 times x, which is 4 times that little invisible one in the front, so that's 4, and then x times x is x squared, so 4x squared, and then 4x times negative 2 is negative 8x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, and carry the x with it. Alright, the last one, 3x times 2x, so 3 times 2 is 6, and then we have 2 x's, so it's x squared, and then 3x times 10, 3 times 10 is 30, positive 30, and we have 1x, so 30x. Alright, now if we're multiplying binomials, alright, where we have 2 terms, 1, 2, 1, 2, I'm just going to erase that. Alright, what we could do is distribute twice. Alright, we take the x, and what we're going to do is we're going to times it by x. Okay, and then we're going to take the x and we're going to times it by -3. Alright, and then we can take the 2, we can also distribute 2 times x, and then 2 times -3. So x times x is x squared. X times -3 is -3x. And then 2x, 2 times x is 2x, positive 2x. And then 2 times -3 is -6. Alright, when we're finished, we have this polynomial here. It's got 4 terms in it. Alright, but we have like terms. So what we're going to do at the end is combine like terms, so we could simplify our polynomial. Here's our like terms, -3 and positive 2x. So we'll have x squared minus 1x or minus x, and we combine these, minus 6 as our answer. And we're left with a trinomial. Alright, the next one, you could do it again. Take the 2x, and I'm going to go underneath, times it by x. And then take the 2x, times it by 6. Take the 4, times it by x. And then take the 4 and times it by 6. So I get 2x squared, 12x, it's going to be positive, 4x, which is positive, and then 24. Combine like terms. Got 16x, and then we have 2x squared over here, and then 24. Alright, so that's one method for multiplying polynomials. It may be the best method for you. You might find the next 2 methods work a little bit better. Okay? The next method is called the FOIL method. It's kind of like what we just did, but it has an acronym to it. FOIL gives you the order in which you can multiply the binomials. We're going to multiply the first, then the outer, then the inner, and then the last. Alright, so we're going to multiply the first term in each binomial, y times y. Alright, and then we're going to multiply the outer, which is the outer 2, y times 4. Then we can multiply the inner 2, -3 times y, and then we can multiply the lasts, -3 times 4. So y times y is y squared, y times 4 is 4y, and then -3 times y is -3y, and -3 times 4 is -12. Alright, after that, make sure you combine like terms. Alright, we have 4y and -3y. 4 minus 3 is 1, so we have 1y, and then bring everything else down. Okay, again, now we have a binomial 2b plus 4, and then 3b minus 3. We do the first of each, 2b times 3b. We do the outer, 2b times -3. We do the inner, 4 times 3b, and we do the last, 4 times -3. Alright, let's calculate those. 3b times 2b is 6b squared. 2b times -3, 2 times -3 is -6b. 4 times 3b is 12b, positive 12b. And then 4 times -3 is -12. Alright, combine like terms. -6 plus 12 is positive 6b. We have minus 12. Okay, so that's the FOIL method. Alright, and then the last method we're going to show you. Alright, skip this page for right now. Alright, and if you want more examples on FOIL, come see me. I'll go over these with you. Alright, but we're going to skip to the last method, and this is the box method. Okay, this is the method I think you guys are going to like the most. Alright, so, and it probably pertains to when we multiply more than just binomials. Alright, the box method is similar to the FOIL method and similar to the other one, but what we're going to do is make a box. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take that first term, negative 3x plus 3, and we're going to split that into two terms. We're going to take the first binomial and split it into two terms. Alright, so we're going to write negative 3 here, negative 3x, and then positive 3 here. Okay, and we're going to split our box up into how many terms we have in each polynomial. And then the other one, we have x minus 8, so I'm going to put x here and minus 8 here. Alright, and now what we could do is we could take this box and we could use it as a tool for multiplication. You guys remember your times table boxes where you had all the boxes here, the numbers, the rows, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10, and you did 4 times 4 is 16, and that was there. Okay, well, this is the same thing. We're going to do negative 3x times x. Okay, negative 3x times x, and that's negative 3x squared. Okay, then we're going to do here negative 8 and negative 3x. Negative 8 times negative 3x is positive 24x. Alright, and then vertically we have this x again, x times 3, which is 3x. And then negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. Alright, and after that what we have to do is we have to combine what's like. So we have these two terms are alike, so we're going to combine them. So I'm left with negative 3x squared, and then I have 3x and 24x, which is 27x. And then I have negative 24. And there's my answer. Okay, let's do that again using the box method. So I have two terms here. So I have negative b and positive 5. My box. And then I have negative 2b and positive 4. Okay, negative 2b and negative b. Negative times a negative is positive. So it's going to be positive 2b squared. 4 times negative b is negative 4b. Negative 2b times positive 5 is negative 10b. And then 4 times 5 is positive 20. Combine the like terms and bring everything down. So I'm left with 2b squared. And then combine my b values. Negative 4 and negative 10 is negative 14b. And then I have 20 at the end. Two more examples. Alright. Again, we have two terms and two terms, so we have a 2 by 2 box. 2y and 5y. I mean just 5. And we have y and plus 4. Well, 2y times y is 2y squared. 2y times 4 is 8y. Y times 5 is 5y. And then 5 times 5 is 20. Combine the like terms. 8 plus 5 is 13. And this is what I'm left with. Alright, this method is also good when we have two terms by three terms. So I have x minus 4, and it's going to be by three terms. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. Okay, and if you could combine like term, if you could multiply this through and combine like terms and show me, I'll give you extra credit.